You getting any news on these 30 visit things? Gavin and I have been talking about, kind of educating everybody out there what's going on with these 30 visit things. You getting any names? You starting to hear anybody?
We do have a few, and I know John Machota had a few from The Athletic today. So a couple of the ones that I was able to confirm this afternoon. We got your number one tackle, right? Mississippi State's Charles Cross.
Okay, that's interesting right there. Okay, now...
Does that say to you that the Cowboys think Penning's going higher than Cross?
Yeah, you know what? It is interesting to me because I wonder why they would bring Cross in, because I've never seen Cross be lower than like 8, 8 somewhere. Like I've never seen him drop all the way to 24 or anything like that. So is this one of those things that you try and go up and do if he gets to a certain spot? Are you thinking about maybe going up? If he gets past, say he does get past, say he does get past, 13, 14. Do you try and go up and get a guy like that?
I think that, like I just kind of said there, I think it's more indicative that the Cowboys maybe think Cross slides a little. Okay. Not necessarily all the way to them, but at least gets somewhere in there. I think there's a lot of buzz about Penning after the way that he worked out and the way I think he impressed teams with his interviews.
Sure.
And Cross is he's really good, but Cross is young.
He's very Tyron Smith-like.
I was going to say, I know you compared him to a Tyler Smith or a Tyron Smith starter kid.
Yeah.
And that's a good comp, especially just given his youth. I mean, he's a redshirt sophomore, and he's a young player. He's got he's got a great build. He's one of these guys that I like next to Evan Neal. I think he's got some of just the cleanest looking pass sets I've seen of anybody in the draft. It's genuinely it's like art watching him get to his spot. He's one of my favorite players in this draft. I love him.
Yeah.
I think that he'd be great. I don't know. What do you think, Bryan? You think he could play guard for a year?
You know what? I kind of feel like that.
I don't think so. I think he's just your swing tackle for a year.
Well, man, I don't know if you pick a guy at if you have to go up. I think you'd have to go up and get him myself, but mid round to go do that. I don't know, man. I might consider playing him at right tackle and try and figure out who's the left guard. I might just say you're better than Terrence Steele, and boom, here we go. Let's go play.
I'm interested in a few of the names that we've seen.
Yeah,
because
how about this?
I felt like 4 names, 3 maybe 4 were definitely ahead of 24, and that makes me wonder if they are looking at trading up. Because I thought Treylon Burks is the maybe. That just depends on what your flavor is with these receivers. But I had not seen, was able to confirm today, Drake London, the receiver from USC.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people had Drake London higher than where the Cowboys are picking.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's people that kind of think that Drake London, again, the wide receiver from USC, if you need to look him up, a hell of a player. But yeah, I kind of felt like that maybe he might be out of Dallas's range.
Right. But there's a lot of people I think who thought Drake London could be the first receiver taken.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
And so that makes me wonder, do they just want to look at the ankle?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Well,
is that what it is? Get their doctors?
They probably saw him at the combine, but maybe, again, I think you're onto something. I think there's a couple of these guys that they might want to get a talking to. Because, okay, how about Jordan Davis? Have you heard that one?
Another one I thought, yeah. Okay. Jordan Davis was another one I had, and that was one I thought was out of their range.
Yeah, so Jordan Davis, I'm kind of hearing about Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle from Georgia. And if you followed along with us talking about the draft early, Jordan Davis was a guy that a lot of folks mocked to the Cowboys. Potentially that one technique, nose tackle, he goes in there, he blows up the combine.
He ran like a gazelle.
Exactly, but he is on this list too. So, okay, now is that a trade-up situation?
Is that a trade-up situation, or do we have these players wrong? Are we stacking them wrong? And that the rest of the league doesn't view them, and Dallas actually anticipates some of these guys are going to be in their range? Because there are some notable admissions here. Like, I think it's interesting that Cross is on there, but Penning is not.
Right.
And that, they've got
how about No Linderbaum, too, is another one?
No Linderbaum is a guy that I haven't
I'm hearing
heard.
that, yeah.
I know for sure Penning does not have a visit, and I don't believe Linderbaum does. And so, and I know the scouts have thought highly of him.
Yeah.
And I know they had Penning in for, a formal at the combine, and they had a nice conversation with him. It just makes me wonder if, we've all talked about, like, where could, Linderbaum go? Is he a guy that could potentially, slide just because of the position and his length and stuff like that? One of the other names I was able to confirm is kind of Linderbaum light, and that's Cam Jurgens from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like he's got a lot of the same sort of questions I think that Linderbaum has. It's just he's not, like I said, he's poor man's Tyler Linderbaum. And so that'd be more like a third round name. So I wonder if that just indicates to me that they believe Linderbaum's going ahead of them, and that they actually think guys like Drake London and Charles Cross, that these guys might slide closer to them than a guy like Linderbaum or Penning.
Bobby, do you, some of these, I was just kind of, again, going through, and there's a run that looks like on tight end. Well, let me go back. Let me circle back as I look at my notes on some of the things. I don't know if you heard that Zion Johnson and Kenyon Green both are going to visit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so here are some of the bigger names, and like I said, Machota did a good job collecting these two.
Yeah.
These are some of the bigger names I think we're talking about near the top of the draft that are scheduled for visits right now. Drake London, receiver from USC. Traylon Burks, receiver from Arkansas. Chris Olave, receiver from Ohio State. Devin Lloyd, linebacker, Utah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't believe Nakobe Dean got an invite.
No, I haven't I haven't heard that name myself.
Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, Georgia. Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle, Central Michigan, which I always thought Raymond was more of a high second.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if they think there's going to be a run, or is he a potential
trade
back option?
I kind of feel like that on my board, he's the fifth best tackle.
Yeah, I've got him as 5. I just thought there was enough of a drop off that you were looking at early second. But if there's a run on a position, he may go a little earlier than that. And then who we just mentioned here, Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson, the guard from A&M and the guard from Boston College. Okay,
so if in fact that they try to go the guard route at 24. It's either going to come down to Johnson or Green, right? If one of those guys are there.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe they view Green more as 24, and Johnson would be, let's move back a little.
Okay.
Because I don't know that just me personally, I don't know where you fall on this one. I view I wouldn't want to take Johnson with pick 24. I'd like to get something a little extra.
It's funny, Bobby, that a lot of folks, I've been on a lot of shows during the week, these draft shows and stuff like that. And I'm the only guy that doesn't like, I say I don't like Zion Johnson. I have questions about him. I have questions about Green as well. I have questions about all these guards.
I heard somebody that I was talking with had some interesting questions about Kenyon Green.
Okay.
That they just had some questions about his mentality. They didn't know if he was a dog.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting, especially because that's something I've heard during this pre-draft process that the Cowboys are really big on, is they want to find, the glass eaters, and they want to find, some mean guys to kind of build this core up with. And so I think that's interesting. Maybe that's part of the reason they want to talk to Kenyon Green, is maybe that's their perspective too, is they want to find out what kind of a mentality he has. But that was something I heard a little bit of whispers about, is they didn't know if he was a dog totally. Not the Cowboys, but just in general, some chatter among league circles.